Today, we're diving into an important and often debated topic in biblical scholarship. Did the Apostle Paul really write the letter of 2 Timothy? Let's explore 5 key points and a thoughtful conclusion that can help us better understand this question. Point 1. The burden of proof. In any serious discussion, the burden of proof matters. If a letter claims to be written by Paul, we should accept that claim unless there's strong evidence to prove otherwise. Critics often point to differences in vocabulary or historical setting, but these raise questions, not definitive answers. Doubt is not the same as proof. So unless there's clear, compelling evidence that Paul didn't write 2 Timothy, the default position should be that he did. Point 2. Motives behind the doubt. Now let's consider the motives behind the skepticism. Some scholars, like Bart Ehrman, have gained fame for challenging traditional beliefs. And while their work is often rigorous, it's important to ask, are these doubts based on careful evidence, or are they amplified for attention or controversy? Skepticism can be healthy, but only if it's grounded in fairness and facts, not just popularity. Point 3. The integrity of the letter's content. Take a moment to read 2 Timothy for yourself. You'll find a letter that's personal, heartfelt, and filled with courage. Paul speaks of suffering, loyalty, and staying faithful even while facing death. That kind of message doesn't come from someone faking it. If this was Paul, the depth of emotion and sacrifice shows us a man deeply committed to truth. This kind of content matters and shouldn't be dismissed just because the writing style is slightly different. Point 4. Skepticism about the evidence. Yes, the vocabulary in 2 Timothy is different from Paul's other letters. But does that really prove anything? People change how they write over time, and Paul wrote to different audiences in different moments of his life. On top of that, letters were often dictated to scribes, so the words might vary, but the message could still be Paul's. In short, differences in vocabulary are interesting, but not proof of forgery. Point 5. The author's voice still speaks. Even if the words were shaped by a scribe, the voice behind the letter still sounds like Paul. His theology, his personal reflections, his calls for endurance and faithfulness, it all matches what we know of Paul from his other writings. In the ancient world, style could vary, but truth remained, and here the heart of the message still feels consistent with Paul's life and mission. Where does this leave us? Let's bring it all together. 2 Timothy says it's from Paul, and unless there's overwhelming evidence to the contrary, we should respect that claim. Linguistic differences, they matter, but they're not proof. Historical doubts, worth considering but not decisive. The letter's content, its passion, sacrifice, and moral conviction reflects the Paul we've come to know. So yes, ask the hard questions, but let's also remember, the burden of proof lies with those who doubt the claim, not with those who accept it. Thanks for watching. If this gave you a new perspective, feel free to like, share, or subscribe for more thoughtful discussions on faith, history, and scripture. Until next time, stay curious